Hello, Sue Rose Minahan, Talk Cosmos host, and this is the chat edition for January 19, 2021. And I'm in Kailua Kona, where the waves have been pounding. There's a storm in New Zealand in the South Seas, and they're being pushed up a hurricane. And there's epic waves 50 feet on some of the islands. And here on Kailua Kona, which is on the west side, we've had epic waves for this side, and it's been raining. Water has become part and parcel of the air, and with it, all the excitement. There's a little pool that's built in the ocean just outside of where I live because I'm on the water. And the children and the people and I myself love going there. And you sit on the rim and the waves come crashing in and you go pounding into this pool, this saltwater pool, and the excitement and the screams. And I've been wanting to make this presentation, so I haven't gone down there, but it's made me realize that the environment that we're living in is really contributing more increasingly, if that's English, proper English, to our entire experience. The nature, the physicality. Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is in Taurus. It's earth, it's land, or it's environment. It's our physicality. And Uranus is excitement. Right now, Mars, today, at the very beginning in the morning, this the sun is still in Capricorn, but in early in the morning, about 10 o'clock here in Kona, 10:40, it's going to go into Aquarius. And so that, but that's not okay. So it's looking at Uranus, and Mars is conjunct Uranus at that same time, moving in closer to a good conjunction, which they will remain through tomorrow, the 20th. And there's excitement. It it wants to have some impetus of releasing that excitement. A wonderful astrologer, Rick Levine, often talks about Aquarius and Uranus, and he talks about the instantaneous resolution against forms and factors that cannot be resolved because there's lightning that happens, and it's the ions and it's the negativity and it's the chemistry of the whole thing. And that really, just to relate that total connection of us and our bodies, because although we may think, right, that we have control, which fortunately we have control, and that's the purpose, is to understand how we're feeling so that we can exercise control and also exert a pathway through whatever we're experiencing. Yet there is a certain element of undeniable electricity, connection that one just wants to participate in. And so I think really responding in some form of connecting with community or the elements outside dissipates and energizes and reconnects that energy that has something to say to us. I know that I've been connecting to new groups. I'm bringing in a new member to my Moonbeam team. I've already brought in a new member to the Planet Buzz, and I'm beginning this 10-minute connection. Plus, I'm taking a Mayan astrology class with a wonderful astrologer that's been recommended that lives in Guatemala. It's amazing how that information, once I have time to really work with that in depth. Mark Elmy, he's the astrologer in Guatemala, 4 pillars. I'm also going to take a class with Alan Clay for one of his dwarf planets. He has a new university with about Ixion, the lawlessness planet. Or it's not a planet, it's a dwarf planet. But those outer planets have such transformational energies. The further they get out, the longer they last, and the more they seem to talk to some portion of ourselves. Now, this is all information that takes time to synthesize. Let's look at a couple of charts here because it's really astonishing. Okay, that's today in the morning. And here, see how it is at 29 degrees. Well, 29 degrees is really significant for Saturn because it is looking to Saturn, which is now in Aquarius. But last year, 29 degrees happened to be when it was retrograding, because Saturn, now that it is in Aquarius, in its 3-year passage, it will enter the sign and then go back again. So in March 3rd, if I have these dates, it was March 10th to the 22nd, it was in 29 degrees Capricorn before it entered Aquarius. And when it did enter Aquarius, it conjunct Mars that happened to be going into Aquarius. So we all know that we were deeply being confronted with what rules and regulations and what is happening with the with COVID. And of course, at that time, the nodes were in South Node in Capricorn. So it was really a very throwing off everything about the environment, the rules of our workplace. And then it went retrograde, leaving Aquarius to return to finish its 2.5-year, 3-year transit in Capricorn on July 2nd to the 15th. Now, during that time, we had an eclipse on the 4th and the 5th, right on the national holiday of the United States, when the sun was at 13 degrees. Oh, it was a lunar eclipse. And so the lunar eclipse, the moon is at 13 degrees Capricorn, which was opposite the sun, which happened to be conjunct the natal sun of the United States. And so again, it was this tremendous opposing impetus that we are now experiencing in many ways about new rules, new regulations, and the shifting of energies. These eclipses take time. And then in addition, on the 16th of December, it re-entered the 29 degrees to then on the 18th go into Aquarius, and then Jupiter finally joined Aquarius on the 20th. So we have some huge situations here, and I know all of us are beginning to find our different connections in our different ways. So thank you so much, and we'll be back again.